15 Keys to Becoming a Peaceful and Respected Woman. Carl Jung's Wisdom. Have you ever laid awake at night, staring at the ceiling, wondering where you went wrong? You've given everything, your time, your energy, your love, and yet somehow you feel empty. Like you're drowning in responsibility but starving for meaning. Here's the truth nobody talks about. We've been taught how to love everyone else, but nobody taught us how to come home to ourselves. For too long, women have been playing roles: the perfect daughter, the devoted partner, the selfless mother, the reliable friend. But in all that performing, something sacred gets lost. The woman who's supposed to be keeping her own fire alive. This isn't another self-help pep talk. This isn't about mantras or bubble baths. This is an invitation, a journey back to the raw, authentic version of yourself. The one who doesn't need permission to exist, doesn't need validation to feel worthy. Drawing from Carl Jung's profound psychology, we're going to walk through 15 doorways, 15 transformative keys to reclaiming your power, your peace, and your dignity. If something in your heart stirs as you watch this, stay. Because this might not just be a video, this might be your journey home. Key 1. Recognize the emptiness. Let's start with something uncomfortable: the void. You know that feeling when you've checked every box? Good partner, great parent, dependable employee, but you still feel like you're sleepwalking through your own life? That's not failure. That's your soul trying to get your attention. We've been conditioned to believe our value comes from how much we give, how much we sacrifice, how little we complain. Society calls it being strong. Jung would call it soul betrayal. Women are praised for being selfless. But here's what they don't tell you. When you give yourself away piece by piece, eventually there's nothing left. That emptiness you feel is not weakness. It's not depression. It's a signal. Your inner self is saying, "Stop. Look at me. Remember me." Carl Jung taught that every human soul yearns for expression. When we silence that yearning for too long, we don't just feel tired, we feel erased. The first step in any real transformation is acknowledging the truth. Something's not right, and it's not your fault. You're not broken. You've just been living someone else's script. This recognition, this honest moment of, "I can't keep doing this," isn't the end. It's the beginning. It's the seed of change breaking through concrete. Key 2. Restore your inner compass. No woman is born with a broken compass. You came into this world knowing exactly what made you happy, what lit you up. But somewhere along the way, we learned to ignore that inner voice. Don't be selfish. Don't be difficult. Don't make waves. So we stopped listening to ourselves and started asking everyone else what we should do, who we should be, what we should want. Your inner compass is still there. It didn't disappear. It just got buried under expectations, guilt, fear, and comparison. That gut feeling when something doesn't sit right, that's your compass. That sudden urge to cry when a song plays, that's your soul knocking. That situation that drains you even though everyone says it's fine, your compass is screaming. Jung believed that intuition is our soul's primary language. Restoring your inner compass doesn't require a spiritual retreat or a therapist's office, though those can help. It starts with one simple practice: checking in with yourself. Before you say yes, pause. Before you explain yourself, pause. Before you dismiss your feelings, pause and ask, what do I actually need right now? At first, you might not know the answer. That's okay. The muscle of self-awareness has to be rebuilt. But the more you practice listening, the clearer that voice becomes. Your inner compass never lies. It just waits patiently for you to trust it again. Key 3. Stop negotiating with yourself. Here's a painful pattern. You feel exhausted, so you tell yourself, just one more day. Your heart says no, but you smile and say yes. Someone crosses a boundary, and you think, maybe I'm overreacting. This is self-betrayal, and it's killing your spirit slowly. Every time you override your true feelings to keep the peace, to avoid conflict, to be seen as nice, you're negotiating away your own well-being. And here's the kicker, nobody asked you to do that. Jung once wrote, "Nothing makes the soul sicker than dishonesty with oneself." Think about it. How many times have you said, "I'm fine," when you weren't? How many times have you convinced yourself you didn't need rest, didn't deserve support, should just be grateful? Stop the bargaining. Your needs aren't negotiable. Your boundaries aren't up for debate. Your exhaustion isn't something to power through just to prove you're strong enough. This doesn't mean becoming rigid or selfish. It means becoming honest. It means when you're tired, you rest. When something hurts, you acknowledge it. When you need space, you take it without a 10-page explanation. The strength you've been searching for? It's in the refusal to abandon yourself, even once, even for someone you love. Key 4. Stop apologizing for existing. How many times a day do you say, "I'm sorry. Sorry to bother you, but sorry I can't make it. Sorry for taking up your time." We've been trained to apologize for having needs, setting boundaries, or simply existing in a way that might inconvenience someone else. You don't owe anyone an apology for being human. Society taught women that being assertive is aggressive, that having boundaries is cold, that saying no requires a dissertation-length justification. So we wrap every no in layers of apologies, hoping we'll still be liked. But here's the truth Jung understood. Integrity begins when you stop seeking approval. A mature woman isn't the one everyone loves. She's the one who stands in her truth, even when it's misunderstood, even when it's unpopular. When you stop over-explaining and stop apologizing for your decisions, something powerful happens. You start operating from clarity instead of fear. Try this. Say no once without explaining. Just no, I can't. Then sit with the discomfort. Watch how the world doesn't end. Watch how most people just accept it and move on. Your no is complete. It doesn't need wrapping paper. When you stop apologizing for existing, your presence becomes the statement. I know my worth and I don't need to prove it. Key 5. Claim your right to choose. One of the clearest signs you've lost your power? The fear of making choices. From childhood, we're taught to ask permission from parents, teachers, partners, friends. And that habit doesn't disappear in adulthood. It just gets internalized. We wait for someone to tell us it's okay to change careers, to end a relationship, to pursue a dream. Like our lives need approval stamps. But nobody can live your life for you. Nobody feels your pain, your joy, your deepest longings the way you do. Jung said, "Your life is the result of the choices you actually make, not the things you say you'll do." Every choice, even the small ones, is a declaration of your autonomy. When you choose consciously, you're telling the universe, "I'm ready to live authentically." Yes, choosing is scary. It means responsibility. It means sometimes you'll choose wrong. But not choosing is the deepest loss of all. Because every time you wait for permission, you're letting someone else write your story. Start small. Choose what you want for dinner without asking. Choose to take a walk because you feel like it. Choose to say no to plans that drain you. No choice made from your authentic center is wrong, even if others don't understand. That's when you know you're becoming the author of your own life. Key 6. Setting boundaries isn't guilt, it's love. Let's talk about the hardest word in the English language, No. We've been raised to believe that being a good woman means being available, always helping, always accommodating, always putting others first. The women who get praised the most, the ones who sacrifice without complaint. But here's the trap hidden in those compliments. You're only loved when you have no limits. So when you finally start saying no to extra work, to toxic relationships, to demands on your time, guilt floods in. Am I being selfish? Am I letting people down? That guilt isn't proof you're wrong. It's proof you're breaking out of an old cage. Setting boundaries isn't about building walls or becoming cold. It's an act of deep self-respect and love. When you say, "This is enough," you're teaching others and yourself that your energy, your time, your soul are sacred. They can't be consumed without limit. Jung taught that no one can touch your soul without your permission. Boundaries are you choosing which doors stay open and for whom. Here's what changes. A woman with clear boundaries carries a different energy. She doesn't need to shout or prove anything. Her presence alone communicates. This line cannot be crossed. Some people won't like it. They'll say you've changed, that you're being difficult. That's because they were comfortable with the version of you that had no boundaries. Don't let fear of loss make you tear down what you built with blood and tears. Remember, saying no is another way of saying, I respect myself. And when you respect yourself, the world begins to mirror that back to you. Boundaries don't make you lonely. They filter out people who weren't ready to love the real you. Inside those boundaries, you can breathe, rest, and live fully as yourself. No guilt, no fear, just peace and dignity. Key 7. Release perfectionism. Be human, not a symbol. From childhood, most women are rewarded for being flawless. Good grades, good behavior, never disappointing anyone. Those innocent compliments planted a dangerous seed. Perfectionism. We start believing that only when we're spotless, always strong, always composed, always pleasant, are we worthy of love and respect. But in trying to be perfect, we lose the most precious thing, our authentic selves. Perfectionism isn't virtue. It's fear wearing a mask of discipline. Fear of judgment, fear of failure, fear of not being enough. So we push ourselves to exhaustion trying to be the ideal mother, the perfect partner, the employee who never complains. Every time we stumble, instead of self-compassion, we deliver self-criticism. Try harder. Do better. But here's what nobody tells you. No one can maintain perfection and still be alive. Carl Jung wrote, "Wholeness doesn't come from eliminating flaws. It comes from reconciling with them." Letting go of perfectionism is the journey back to being human, messy, limited, sometimes weak. It's not surrender. It's the courage to admit, I don't need to prove my worth through achievement. When you allow yourself to make mistakes, to move slowly, to rest, to be imperfect, something miraculous happens. The constant tension inside begins to soften. You stop living in the exhausting state of, I must do better. Instead, you start listening to yourself with compassion and respect. You learn to celebrate effort, not just outcomes. Releasing perfectionism doesn't mean stopping growth. It means shifting the goal from flawless to real, because authenticity is always more beautiful than perfection. When you dare to show up with your cracks, your fears, your mistakes, you become more human and therefore more free. Remember, wholeness isn't about doing everything right. It's about not betraying yourself when you get it wrong. The day you can smile at your imperfections without shame, that's the day you start living beautifully, no perfection required. Key 8. Reconcile with your body. Return home. Your body isn't just physical matter. It's the sacred home where your soul lives. Yet so many women spend their entire lives as strangers in their own bodies. We look at ourselves through other people's eyes, measuring ourselves against impossible standards, criticizing every stretch mark, every curve, every sign of aging. In that war with ourselves, we disconnect from our own being. From early on, we learn that bodies must be beautiful, thin, young to be loved and accepted. We learn to control our bodies like they're problems to be fixed, not companions to be heard. Every time you force yourself to skip meals when hungry, work when exhausted, smile when in pain, you're sending your body a message. Your needs don't matter. Gradually, you lose the ability to feel. You don't know when you need rest, when you need affection, when you're truly hurting. Jung said, "The body is the visible manifestation of the unconscious. Every ache, every tightness, every sensation is your soul trying to communicate." Reconciling with your body isn't about instantly loving it. It's about starting to listen to it. Ask, what do you need? Where are you tired? Where have I been ignoring you? When you listen to your body with gentleness, it begins to open up. You start eating not out of fear, but out of love. You rest not because you've collapsed, but because you honor yourself. You move, dance, breathe deeply, not to meet standards, but to feel alive. Reconciling with your body is a profoundly feminine act, a deep reunion where soul and flesh come back together. You stop seeing your body as an object needing repair. You see it as a loyal companion that's carried every wound you've ever endured. When you love your body as it is, you're sending a message to the universe. I am enough. I am present. I am worthy in this exact form. And from that moment, you stop living to be seen, you live to truly feel. That reconciliation is the beginning of peace, confidence, and the deepest respect, not from anyone else, but from yourself. So we've just walked through the first 8 keys together, from recognizing the emptiness to reconciling with your body. And if you've made it this far, I hope you're starting to feel something shift inside. You're not broken. You're not too much or too little. You're simply finding your way back home. These first 8 keys are about the foundation, the inner work that has to happen before anything else can truly change. It's about stopping the patterns that drain you, listening to the voice you've been silencing, and making peace with the body that's been carrying you through everything. But here's the thing, this is only the beginning. We've laid the groundwork, we've started the excavation, but there are 7 more keys waiting for you, and honestly, these next ones might be the most transformative of all. In part 2, we're going deeper. We're going to explore how to trust your intuition when the whole world is telling you you're wrong, how to embrace your shadow, the parts of yourself you've been taught to hate, how to choose relationships that actually nourish your soul instead of draining it, and finally, how to live from true wisdom, where you stop seeking approval and start living from your deepest truth. If part 1 was about recognizing and releasing, part 2 is about reclaiming and becoming. So here's what I want you to do before part 2. Take a moment right now. Close your eyes if you need to. Place your hand on your heart and ask yourself, which of these 8 keys did I need to hear most? Maybe it's setting boundaries. Maybe it's releasing perfectionism. Maybe it's reconciling with your body. Whatever it is, write it down. Put it somewhere you'll see it every day. Because transformation doesn't happen by watching videos. It happens by taking one small action at a time. If this resonated with you, hit that like button so I know this message is reaching the people who need it. And if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and subscribe now and turn on notifications, because part 2 is dropping soon, and you don't want to miss it. Drop a comment below and let me know, which key hit you the hardest? What are you committing to change today? Your story might be exactly what another woman needs to hear. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being brave enough to start this journey. You're not alone, and the fact that you're still watching, that tells me you're ready. Part 2 is waiting for you, and trust me, if you thought part 1 was powerful, you haven't seen anything yet. I'll see you in the next one. Until then, keep choosing yourself. Take care.